Welcome to ACDC Real Talk. My name is Aloysius,
And I'm Dominic.
and today we are here to share with you about some upcoming launches this new year. And you know, Chinese New Year is around the corner, and many of your relatives will ask you, so tell me more about property market, Dom, and
Exactly.
how will you respond?
Exactly. And you know, one of the things that is very hot if you follow the property market is the number of new launches that are going to come up in 2026.
That's right.
So, you know, today's video, we want to deep dive a little bit into a high level of what are the new launches that you can expect in 2026 and a little bit of our own reviews of them so that at least you are aware. So this is not really a deep dive into the new launches, but we wanted to give you an overview of what you can expect in 2026. So hopefully this will be helpful for you, alright?
So next we have Lentor Gardens Residences.
Wow, another one at Lentor.
Yeah, honestly, I lost count how many is there.
I also
already.
forgot how many plots.
Yeah, I really don't know But to be honest, I was doing some research and
Okay.
I realized that in the Lentor area, we have I think maybe 5-6 new launches. 98% take up rate already.
So only, wow, that's a very good take-up rate.
Yes, excluding Lentor Gardens of course.
Okay, I haven't launched lah.
2% that is available for you.
Wow.
Yeah, but honestly, it's quite pricey lah.
Okay.
The 2% remaining. So Lentor
Okay.
Gardens is a good opportunity for some of you who have missed the previous wave. Developer also pretty well known, Kingsford.
Kingsford.
99 years, and the land price is actually 920. This is the first 3-digit that we are seeing for today, actually. Yeah,
Yeah, sub 1,000 lah.
Of course, I mean, the starting price, we are not going to expect them to be cheaper than the previous few lah, for sure. You know that the new ones has to be a bit more expensive. However, it's still an okay price. I think we're expecting about 22XX PSF.
Yep.
And maybe average launch price about 2324.
Yep.
Yeah.
Agree. I mean, I think for Lentor, there has, I try to remember the first one was Lentor Modern.
Yes, Lentor Modern.
2022.
Yeah.
Then I think it was Lentor Hills.
Yes.
Lentor Rear. Oh, sorry. Hillock
Green.
Green. Lentor Mansion. Then Lentor Central.
Central.
So this is the 7, right?
Yes.
I think maybe, correct ah? Did I miss out any?
Yes, 7. Correct. Seven.
I think after this might have one more. I need to double check again. Okay. But this is the 7th plot.
Correct.
So 7 is a lucky number. Of course, one of the things that we want to caveat is that yes, the land price might look comparatively cheaper in terms of comparing with 2026 launches. But if you're entering in today, you just need to be a bit more careful, which is where I think Aloysius and I can advise you more on a one-to-one.
Yeah.
Because you are going to buy it at a higher average PSF. We are looking at an estimated about maybe 2,200 XX PSF starting from,
Yeah.
and an average of maybe 2003, 2004. So if you were to compare the first batch of people who had the first mover advantage and buy into Lentor, they entered maybe about 2001, 2002. So if you enter in, especially if you come in at a later stage, 2004, maybe 2005, it's okay, but just that if you're looking at a short-term flip, you just need to be very careful in terms of the safety buffer you have.
Yes.
Okay, so that's just something we want to caution you that we are not here to tell you everything launch can buy, okay?
Yeah.
We're just giving you our own opinions. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
And remember at the start, we talked a bit about Guaco Land.
Yes.
And Guaco Land actually is one of the master developers of the whole Lentor
Yep.
enclave. Of course, Lentor Gardens is Kingsford. And I
Yes.
think there was another new launch another Lentor development that was not Guaco,
Yes.
but generally most of the rest are Guaco. I mean,
Correct.
Lentor Modern, River Modern, you get the
Correct.
point, right? So I think there must be a reason why Guaco is here. Yeah. Not saying every launch can be bought, but y'all can do a think about it on your own as well.
Agree.
Yeah.
Next one, I can share. This one is
Dom
one
is
of
the
my
expert.
one of my favorite area, which is your Chuan Grove GLS. Okay, so for Chuan Grove GLS, I wanted to take note, right, is that this is in terms of location. Okay, we start from there. This is actually very near your Lorong Chuan MRT. Okay, and why I love this area is because Lorong Chuan is one stop from Serangoon, is one stop from Bishan.
Yep.
Okay, it is a very central location. And okay, I remember Lorong Chuan because last time I had a friend who stayed in a condo there and invited us to go and play squash. So I have good memories of that place. Okay, but other than the great location and my good memories, I think Chuan Grove is a good area to buy into because there is a lot of space for future development. Okay, so what do I mean by this? So if you wind back maybe about 2 years ago, that's where Chuan Park was launched. Okay,
Yes.
Chuan Park was launched by Kingsford
Yep.
as well, and I think up to date they probably sold about 80 plus 90%, almost going to sell out. Okay, Chuan Park was actually a en-bloc site, so it was redeveloped. Okay, it's a very large piece of land that is right beside your Lorong Chuan MRT.
Yep.
So in terms of MRT, it's like really a stone's throw down, and very beautiful. Got 5 towers and all. Okay,
Yeah.
so for Chuan Grove, right, if you love the area, you want to be central near to the MRT, and you probably reside around your Bishan, Toa Payoh, Serangoon area, Chuan Grove is the next opportunity for you to buy into this area.
Yeah.
Because if you look into the surroundings, things like your Golden Bell, Golden Hill Tower, your Chiltern Park and all that, these are developments that are almost 20, 30 years old. Okay, so they are due for a refresh.
Yep.
Because a lot of them are kind of into their 30s, their 40s, you know. That's where people start to look into repainting. They need to top up NCST because of, you know, lift upgrading works and all that. Okay, but if you're able to get into a Chuan Grove, you are going to buy into an area that is very, very central.
Yes.
Very near the MRT. You are one stop to NEX, you're one stop to Junction 8. Okay, and you're also 1 km to good schools like your St. Gabriel's as well. So Chuan Grove is actually probably 2 plots that they are going to be amalgamated into a larger plot.
Yep.
Okay, developer is Sing Holdings and Sunway Development. It's a 99-year-old leasehold. Okay, and we are looking at a mega development of about 1055 units. So this is almost equivalent to a Chuan Park, okay, in terms of the size. And the land bid was slightly more pricey than Chuan Park. It was a 1355 per square feet per plot ratio. So we are estimated after adding in developer margin and construction costs, we're looking at about 26xx per square feet, average about 27 and 28. Okay, so to give your confidence in this area is if you to take a look at the performance of Chuan Park. Okay, Chuan Park launch weekend they sold 76%.
Yeah.
And the PSF price acceptance has already reached about 2792, which is about 2008. And one thing I want to highlight to you guys is that this is something little tip lah. Okay, is that Chuan Park was an en bloc site.
Yeah.
So what this means is that it was pre-harmonized. So we'll probably explain this in another video, but if you talk about pre and post harmonization, basically the developer in the past they basically get the aircon ledge space free. Okay, when they buy the land, but they will charge it to you when they buy. So to have a post-harmonized like Chuan Grove coming up means that if you take a look at Chuan Park, which is pre-harmonized at let's say a 2008 per square feet, if I were to add in the harmonization about maybe 4 to 6%, it means that your price acceptance is maybe 2009, 3000 already.
Correct.
Okay, so if let's say your Chuan Grove is going to come up at 2728 and starting from 26, that is the margin, that is the buffer that you have, the safety buffer to exit in the future.
Yes.
Okay, so that's what I wanted to share about Chuan Grove, and this is going to come out estimated about Q3 2026.
Yeah. So essentially, I think it's more efficient layouts
Correct.
for Chuan Grove.
Correct.
Compared to
Exactly.
Chuan Park, probably. Yeah,
Exactly.
likely so. What you can expect.
Exactly.
Alright. Next, we have the Upper Thomson Road GLS. So this one, many of you will be quite familiar. You'll remember Springleaf Residences, which is the plot
Sold
right
out.
beside.
Almost sold out.
Almost sold
Almost
out.
sold out.
I
Right.
mean, left like, I don't know, I think less than 10%.
Correct.
And this one, originally, if I don't recall wrongly, this was the one where the Singapore actually released as they have to have service apartments. Then there were no developers that bidded and they pulled back. And now this is the new land bid that is going to be Upper Thomson Road GLS. And actually this one, we are quite excited about this because over here, it is not a typical BTO kind of HDB-centric development, but around you is all the Lentor,
Nature lah.
Springleaf, landed properties.
Yeah.
All your sort of like Fu are going to come and buy properties for their children and
Yeah.
things like that. But we do see quite a huge number coming in. And in fact, not just here, but we also have our own previous research that shows that a lot of people in the D23 region, which is like your Choa Chu Kang, Dairy Farm area, they're actually buying and moving out and into these outskirt areas. Yeah, so there's quite an interesting move of demand from these people, and
Yes.
we suspect they are the EC upgraders lah. Yeah, so they have made their pot of gold, they are coming here, and you can expect that this one is going to be quite a hot development because MRT is just right beside you.
Wow, very confident.
Nature
Very
lovers.
confident. Oh, fantastic. And I think one of the things that I think was quite funny reaction. I can't believe that the government actually put in service apartment requirement for this original plot. It's like who would want to stay service apartment at Upper Thomson?
Yeah.
Usually you want to stay somewhere in the city lah. Okay, but I think it's a good idea they remove it because otherwise I don't know which developer will go in.
Correct.
Okay, one thing that I thought was quite good is that if you were to compare side by side, because this is actually the plot A, plot B was actually your Springleaf Residence, and like what Aloysius shared, Springleaf did fantastically well. Launch weekend they sold 92%.
Yep.
At an average of 2223 lah, 2223 PSF.
Yep.
And to put it in context, right, because I think sometimes nowadays when you hear the new PSF, you become a bit desensitized.
Yeah.
But if you put it in context, you are buying into when they bought Springleaf Residence, you are buying into a development. Yes, it's near MRT, but there is no one living there. So if you think about it, that is the confidence the buyers and the investors have in the transformation in the Springleaf area, that they enter in the plot B, which is further from MRT at 2223 BSM, where
Correct.
there's no other new housing built up there besides the landed property. So if you are someone who has the kind of investment horizon to go, 5 to 8 years, and you can wait for the whole area to be redeveloped, then this is a great opportunity for you to have a first mover, but the second mover advantage, right? Because you are going to be the plot that is actually even nearer to the MRT. And this is our own thoughts, which is that there is a reason why the government built the Thomson East Coast Line.
Yes.
So from Springleaf, the next one is going to be your Tagore, right?
Yeah.
Then backwards is your Lentor. So
Correct.
to me, government will spend millions, I don't know, even billions to build up the MRT line. It's definitely not for fun. They have a far-sighted vision. And in terms of housing, I think that's where they are preparing the housing supply
Yes.
to meet the demand that's going to come in the future.
Yes.
Okay, so that is exciting for Upper Thomson Road GLS.
Yes.
Okay,
That's
and
right.
that is review about Q4 2026.
Yes,
Okay, so later
about
part.
Q4.
Yeah. Okay, great. Okay, next one. Well, this one of my favorite. This is your Lakeside Drive GLS. Okay, so Lakeside Drive, as the name suggests, is lakeside. Okay, and this is very hot because this area is. Okay, if you know your lakeside area, right, there is I think Lakeshore that's at the front on one side, and then there's this empty patch of land. Okay, so this empty patch of land, in my experience, is either used for some show flat. I think it was previously Altura show flat, or it was used whenever they have Pasar Malam. They need some space beside the MRT.
Yep.
This is the plot of land. Okay, so this land is very central because it is just right beside Lakeside MRT. Okay, so that's what you're going to get. Now, this development was bought by CDL. So of course you all know CDL is a very premium Singapore
Yes.
developer. Okay, it's a 99-year leasehold, 575 units, and they bought the land about 1132 per square feet. Okay, so if you add up, you are probably looking at estimated per square feet starting from about maybe 2002, 2003, and an average about 2004, 2005. Okay, now I am a little bit more familiar with it, so I can share a little bit more. Is that this development is going to be very, very hot for the west siders, your Jurong side, because number one, it's near to MRT, and number two, it is 1 km to one of the top primary schools, which is your
Yes.
Rulang Primary
That's
School.
right.
Okay, so 1 km to this other school called Shu Jun Primary School, but that one, usually people will try for Rulang first, then if they cannot, then you go for Shu. But both are very good,
Yes.
okay? And why this is so attractive is if you go and take a look at the nearby developments, nearby new launches, so you can see things like your Lake Gardens residence or even your Sora, they have already hit about 2,000, maybe even up to 2,005, 2,006 per square feet. And if you go and see the map, right, your Lake Garden and Sora, they're actually side by side. They are actually not near to the MRT.
Yes.
Okay, I won't say not near, they are maybe about 2-3 bus stops away. They are nearer towards the bowling area, I don't know what you call it, Yuan Ching that side, if you are familiar. Okay, so if you are able to buy into Lakeside Drive, okay, that is going to be right beside the MRT, and you
Correct.
still get the benefit 1 km to Rulang, which your Lakeside Lake Gardens and your Sora does not have. Is that going to be a strong and a safe exit for you in the future?
That's right.
Right? What do you think?
Honestly, I think I agree. I feel that, today you have two projects that Lake Gardens and Sora, they have done fairly well, honestly.
Very well.
I think at least 50% sold on each. Lake Gardens still has some good large size units there. But Lakeside Drive is going to be very exciting because of, firstly, your developer, CDL, no-brainer. Right beside MRT,
Correct.
again, no-brainer. And Rulang, I also know a few people from there who are brilliant minds. So honestly speaking, I think this is where you might want to be if you are a west side, best side.
Exactly,
Right?
exactly. So take note, if you're interested, this one's Q3 2026. Okay, let's go. Next one.
Yes, and I think this is the last one on our list today, and it's going to be Tengah Garden
My
Residences actually. So
Okay,
Tengah Garden Avenue GRS, but now the name is official, it's Tengah Garden Residences. Well, Wako Land again. I mean, Wako Land, Hong Leong, they're like two besties, always
they
working
always
together,
partner. Yeah.
together. And here we have probably the cheapest GLS price of this whole list, which is 821 KSFPPR. Yeah, I mean, of course you would know that Tengah is a very new township, and Tengah has yet to see its first private property right there. But for this Tengah Garden Residences, Goko and Hong Leong are going to put their bets on this land, and I'm sure they have done their research. Again, very area that has a lot of BTOs MO being soon, like what Dom shared earlier. This is one of them, apart from Pioneer Residences.
I think this one has even more than Pioneer.
Correct. I think this one
The whole Tengah area is like a Sengkang, Punggol combined. I don't know how many thousand.
Yeah,
cities, but-
all your Bukit Batok, all of them all going to go into this area. And actually, we have 860 units to kind of sustain that upgraded pool.
Correct.
Yeah, and I think another exciting thing is the whole ACS primary moving over to be near this area. I mean, not exactly
Maybe
close,
not 1
but-
km lah.
Yeah, but I think within 2 Probably.
Yep.
Yeah. So I do think that over here, this whole township is going to evolve quite a bit. Of course, maybe if you are a first-time buyer or investor, you buy into this area, maybe you won't see the full development or like the whole estate blossoming. But I do think that because you are the first mover,
Yes.
generally I think you are going to see something that others
Yes.
don't, and there's some potential right there.
Yes,
Yeah.
agree, completely agree. In fact, I think this one is quite exciting. Okay, so I think Aloysius also probably shared that this one is going to be right beside your Honggar MRT station, right, which is going to be part of your Jurong regional line.
Yes.
So it's going to connect from Choa Chu Kang all the way to I think your Boon Lay, Jurong that side. Okay, so it's a new line that's going to connect those two areas. So
Correct.
in terms of people when they buy, they either buy near MRT, they buy near good school or whatsoever. This one checks that, okay. But one thing that is always a very key driver of value is always urban transformation. So in terms of urban transformation, I think of all the developers we went through, probably Pioneer has one of the strongest.
Yeah.
Because new estate, Tengah is a mega new estate.
Yes.
Because if you think about it, Pioneer is Tampines West, right? Is part of Tampines. But if you think of Tengah is an entire estate. It's not even Tengah West. It's the entire estate. And if you were to see, right, this is the first private residential project that is launched in Tengah. The previous have all been ECs.
Yes.
Right? So ECs like your starting with
Place.
Auto Place, Novo Place, which has already averaged about 1,007, 1,008, 1,009 PSF. And mind you, these are ECs, which
Correct.
means the exit is going to be about 3-4 years to build,
Yep.
and then 5 years MOP.
Yes.
So maybe let's just say 10 years now. Okay, so now it's 2026. They probably will plus another, I don't know, 20, how many count? 3, 6, 3, 7, 3, 8.
Yeah.
Okay, before they exit. So can you imagine in that period of time, if you enter at 1,007, 1,008 and you have to wait 10 years, right? How much do you think the EC owners will sell at? They have to tahan for 10 years,
Correct.
So easily, I think if you can buy into Tengah Gardens that is right beside the MRT, because take note, not all the ECs are near MRT. I think only Copen Grand is nearby.
Yes.
The rest are not very near MRT ones, like your Altura, Lumina Grand, all that. You are able to buy right near the MRT, and you are able to capture the first and second wave of HDB upgraders. Because why? When the first batch of HDB upgraders come out from Tengah, they cannot buy the ECs because the EC owners are still serving the MOP.
Yes.
So if they want to go into a private property and still be nearby, okay, either two options. One is they totally get out of Tengah, which is also possible. It's also possible.
Yep.
Okay, but I think since they already buy there and they ride the whole urban transformation, they're probably settled there, kindergarten, school and all that. Tengah Gardens is going to be the option for them, logically. Okay, so if you are having a longer horizon and you really believe in urban transformation and the whole township coming up, I think Tengah Gardens is the GLS that you should look at.
Yeah.
Okay, so hopefully today's overview has been good. I think we went through maybe just how many we went through?
I think at 9.
Quite a few
9 to
developments.
10, yeah.
So again, we hope this is helpful to you because we want to give you a very quick overview of the new launches that will come up. Okay, we are actually going to continue this series to deep dive a little bit more into the new launches that we believe are the top picks. So stay tuned. We will share the top 5 new launches that we would recommend you in 2026. See you next time.
See you soon.